every other theory or wayward belief or conspiracy out there is really, irrelevant to me. What's not a conspiracy, and this is why, is the issue of, in order to understand what happened, you have to understand and find the answer as to why my colleague's memo was not sent to the Bureau and why I was told not to talk about it. That is what it's all about. You have to know that every single day information is sent between the two agencies on issues that are minor, less important than the fact that two terrorists are flying to the U.S. and you don't tell the FBI. There had to be a reason behind that. And the only logical conclusion or reason was that they were trying to recruit somebody in the cell, or they let the Saudi Mabahith run a unilateral operation in the U.S. in order to do that recruitment, because they didn't want the agency to do it because it would embarrass the Saudis. And it's all about oil, power, money, and the balance of power in the Middle East. And that's the bottom line. And so everyone aside, all those crazy theories about the Jews not going to work on 9/11 and all that shit, and people jumping each year. No, fuck that.
Absolutely. Jim is exactly the way you are. He hates that stuff.
Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's breaking up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm familiar with what you're saying happened. I mean, you were there, so.
Right, it was me, right. We're talking about, right, we're not talking third hand, it's me, right.
Believe me, the conspiracy theorists on the internet do not like me, okay?
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but here's my question to you is, you were saying that the CIA wants to recruit al-Mihdhar. How do the Saudis fit into this? Because I would think that they're going to turn the recruiting over to the Saudis once those guys get here, because the Saudis are helping them out so much. But it looks to me like Bosman, Jamari, to me, Saudis are real jihadis. They're not extremists.
I understand. I understand. I think what you have, in order to, the first thing we need to do, any of us who was looking or studying the Middle East and terrorism, we have to first understand the difference between Sunni and Shia. And that's the root of it all. And what I'm driving at, you see, the Saudis are to be coddled. There are two or three absolutes in American foreign policy that's dictated by the State Department and the administration, no matter what administration it is. Israel is sacred and the Saudis are sacred. Those are the two things. Everything else is irrelevant after that. And maybe the British. But the Saudis and the Israelis are sacred, and nothing can be done to proceed to slight them or hurt them or make them feel embarrassed or pushed to the side. And Saudis feel that they believe, not that they feel, they believe in their mind, truthfully and honestly, that they have been ordained by the Prophet Muhammad, by God, in order to be the vanguard and protector of true Islam on the planet. Because remember, Islam, per the Prophet, was not meant to destroy Judaism or Christianity. It was come to perfect God's word. And they believe that they are the keepers of that perfect word. And because I live this, I know this, how they are. And the policy that we had, even the government, if you watch the documentary La Route de Terror by Fabrizio Khalid, there's a CIA former senior guy there named Bruce Friedel, and he says it. We had a tacit policy before 9/11 with the Saudis that if we found any of their wayward children or wayward sons, and I'm paraphrasing here, we would send them back to the kingdom for reprogramming or rechroming, as we say in the FBI. I remember several times when we found wayward Saudis around the globe, and we brought them home, because it was all about not embarrassing or debasing or delegitimizing the authority of the Saudis and causing an embarrassment in the Muslim world. Like, you can't control your own children. And that's what this was all about. When we never had a source inside Al-Qaeda. And the operation, clearly on the CIA's part, was to try to recruit somebody in that cell. And Khalid al-Mihdhar was the obvious choice, because we knew from listening to the home in Sana that his wife was pregnant. We figured maybe there's some shred of humanity that his wife is pregnant, there's a baby on the way, and maybe he's got some, humanity left in him.
You think Khalid al-Mihdhar still might have had a conscience, and he might have been...
He still had a conscience was the issue. The other guys have no conscience. Muhammad Atta was a depressed homosexual, effeminate guy who was beaten and abused by his family for being gay. It ate on him beyond comprehension, and the others were just thugs who had nowhere else to go.
But Mihdhar and Hazmi were both veteran jihadis.
Exactly correct. But Mihdhar still had a wife that was pregnant.
Yeah, but here's the problem that I have with, because Richard Clark said the same thing that you say.
Yeah, exactly correct.
The problem is the Saudis are the ones doing the recruiting, it looks to me like.
You're right for having that problem. You are exactly correct. They're the ones that chose, and it all goes back to not embarrassing them, the kingdom. Let them do it. Let them recruit their people. We can't be involved.
Well, 3,000 people being dead is a lot more than an embarrassment for the United States.
So George Tenet lied to the commission. All that's cover-up of the...
All the time.
All for protecting an embarrassment?
Yes, it's all for protecting the legitimacy of the agency. The agency would be demolished. It would be taken away. The agency would no longer exist, and also would debase our government as an existent entity if it was to come out.
If this isn't treason, then what's treason?
Well, exactly correct. It is treason. But it's not treason in the respect that all the smart men get in the room and say, well, this is for the good of everybody. We should got to keep this down.
George Bush was saying that al-Qaeda and Iraq have ties to go back decades. He said that at the very same time that he made it against the law to release what Butler was saying, at the very same time Stephen Butler was saying that it looks to me, because this is 28 pages, what Butler said. He said that it looks like Saudi intelligence and bin Laden might be working together. There is no al-Qaeda ties with Iraq.
None. Zero. I give W a pass on that per se. I know you may find that incredible, but it was really more Dick Cheney telling him what to say. And that's really the bottom line. Cheney was de facto president, as far as I can tell, when I was there, because he was the one giving orders to my office, demanding that we find a connection between al-Qaeda and Saddam Hussein. And when my unit at the CIA, and me specifically, wrote papers back and emails back to Cheney and his staff saying, sir, respectfully, there is no connection between al-Qaeda and Saddam Hussein. They said, bullshit. There is. You people just don't know it. And they went and they found their own intelligence, meaning they created their own intel shop at the Pentagon.
That's where they were talking about, they were cooking their own intelligence and everything?
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. In order to justify it. Well, the CIA allowed the Saudis to operate unilaterally in the U.S. in order to recruit or understand what was going on with their bad boys who came to America. And they let them do it in the form of Omar al-Bayoumi and the guy al-Khiri, in the consulate in Los Angeles, who was also in the same mosque that the boys prayed at. So when the operation went awry, when they lost track of them, is only when the CIA, go back to my document, in June 2001, the CIA came running up to FBI in New York to my squad and said, you have to find, here's some pictures of guys, do you know who they are? And Steve Bongard said to them, we should get these pictures. We can't tell you. We can't tell you. You can't tell us. No, just do you know who they are and can you find them? Find who? Find what? Tell us why. No, we can't tell you that. That's a meeting that I was not invited to. What happened was that I was not invited to that meeting. I had heard about the meeting and asked to go. And I was told by the CIA guy in charge, no, you don't have to go. And he dismissed me in the hallway. And the reason why he didn't want me in the meeting was because I would say, what do you mean those guys that were in Malaysia? That's the issue. And remember, they lied. They hid the identity of Khalid bin Atta. Remember the whole thing of showing the photograph in Pakistan to the source? They purposely mixed their names. In that meeting in June 2001, I can only surmise that meeting took place because the Saudis came back to the CIA and said, oh, by the way, those boys, we kind of lost them. And then when they came running up to the Bureau and said, hey, you got to find these guys. And that's what it was too late.
But as soon as they go into the U.S., they have to hand over jurisdiction to the FBI.
They have to. They have to. And this is the thing that, see, this is the fallacy of the 9/11 Commission. While it was a great report and an informative piece about al-Qaeda and the rise of terrorism and jihadism and all that kind of shit, blah, 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 it failed to study the attacks and the issues surrounding the attacks from the point of view that a criminal agent would look at it. A case was not made. A report was put together rather than a case being made for court. And if you're going to do a proper case for court, what you would do is because I've done this in front of a jury, okay, I've had people that say every day of the week they get up and they put their pants on one way. Every single day. And then one day in particular they decide to do it another way. And you say, why the hell was that? That's not coincidence. There's something about that. What I'm driving at is the following. Every single day, CIRs, Central Intelligence Reports, are sent between the CIA to the FBI, informing the FBI of this and that and the other thing. Mundane stuff. Hey, you should know there was a chat between two Hezbollah guys in a cafe in Lebanon. Blah, blah. Oh, by the way, so-and-so may be traveling to the U.S. Go through all the subject lines of CIRs, just even like in the month of January 2000, and you tell me if any single one of those CIRs had the importance or the specific information knowledge about a meeting of terrorists in Malaysia who you followed halfway around the globe and found that they had visas to visit the U.S. And you don't tell the FBI that one, but you told the FBI about some meeting at a cafe in Lebanon, but you don't tell the Bureau this. But Richard Clark is correct that many people in that building knew that this unilateral op was going to take place, and the Bureau was not to be notified. Now, the CIA also slipped, per se, because in Louis Freeh's daily briefing that he gets, okay, on January 6th, 2000, there was a little blurb. There's a meeting in Malaysia. Look, go to the 9/11 Commission report and Google the terms Louis Freeh, brief, whatever. And you'll see there's a little blurb in Louis Freeh's report of January 6th, the day after Doug's memo was blocked. It says there was a meeting in Malaysia of terrorists or bad guys. We'll keep you. The CIA will keep us informed. That was it. So Louis Freeh looks at that and says, well, you know, when you tell me, right? I mean, because that report that little blurb did not say, and by the way, they got visas to visit the U.S., right? No. Why didn't it? And why was there no follow-up on the CIA saying, hey, by the way, Louis, what we told you, this is really bad shit? Because the only logical conclusion is that they let the Saudis run a unilateral recruitment op in the U.S. That's the bottom freaking line. And if that was to come out, it would mean the end of the CIA. They would be totally delegitimized and out of a job. The American public would call for their head, and the Saudis would be embarrassed. And they'll shut the fucking spigot off. And you and I will wait on long lines to get our petrol. And that's as simple as it is. I can't say anything more. And it keeps going back to that same set of circumstances. Israel and the Saudis are sacrosanct in American foreign policy, and nothing is going to change that.
It's going to have to change. It has to change because the Sunni Muslims and Saudi Arabia specifically are behind most of this terror. ISIS is Sunni Muslim, and Saudi Arabia is supporting. I know your time is limited, so I want to go back to the 9/11 Commission for a minute. The 9/11 Commission, the real story is in the footnotes. They investigated, Brennan, everybody says that the 28 pages was looked into by the 9/11 Commission, and they cleared all that up. Now, for the last 12 years, I knew they were going to say that, so I studied the 9/11 Commission as to how they cleared the Saudis. And they didn't clear the Saudis. They didn't. They found more.
No, not at all.
And they covered it up. Now, George Bush said the reason why he classified the 28 pages, and he said the reason was because they're conducting an investigation, and they don't want to let them people know that they're under investigation. Now, he's talking about Thumeri, and he's talking about Bandar, because if you read the joint inquiry, Bandar is not mentioned once, and neither are Thumeri, because they were censored. They are mentioned. Bandar is mentioned at least 18 times in the 28 pages, and Thumeri is mentioned at least 5 times in the 28 pages. They aren't mentioned at all when it's classified. So those two specifically are what Bush is saying that they're being investigated. That is crazy. That's crazy because the guy, that Bandar is with him when he's making his war plans against Iraq, and he can't tell him under investigation because I mean it's a joke. Either Bush knows what the story is with these sides and he's protecting them, or he doesn't want to know, and he doesn't want anyone else to know either.
Bin Laden's victim, I'm sure that blew you away the last page. Bin Laden's brother-in-law contacted me and wanted to meet with me and talk to me, and then he was machine gunned to death.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
As one friend of mine said about me, he said, Mark, he said, you got to remember, you've gone after the house. Like a casino, the house always wins. He goes, you're fucking with the house.
I know, that's the thing. You're one of the few guys that are willing to rock the boat. Like Butler said, no one wants to rock the boat.
I don't give a fuck.
Well,
they went after me for bullshit. I know what it was all about. But now they just, I told them, I said, don't do this. I know too much.
And like, that's what, like Bob Graham had said about George Tenet, he fell from grace because he didn't live up to the motto of the CIA of basically you're supposed to speak truth to power kind of deal. And he just kind of powered down and did whatever his boss told him to do.
Oh, yes. Because it's
George Tenet and Louis Freeh are both millionaires up to 9/11. Well, Louis Freeh millionaires up to 9/11. Well, they made out good, and so did the informant. He got a $100,000 check.
Well, not because of a full FBI agent, but Louis Freeh has no play in this because, quite frankly, he was not told anything. But there's no way in God's good earth that the FBI would have known about hijackers coming to America and not have found out.
I don't think anybody in the FBI, I don't think Richard Lee or Tom Wilshire or any of those guys in the CIA wanted an attack to happen. In fact,
no one wanted it to happen.
Well, Tom Wilshire knew something was going down.
He's trying to freak out.
Tom doesn't like me, but I actually like him because he's a very dedicated guy. But he was just a pawn. Right, it's just on following orders. Right.
I think those orders are coming from, I don't think they're coming from Tenet. I think they're coming from Bush.
Well, they're actually, yeah, him, and also, remember, the State Department is, what people fail to understand sometimes is that the power is really the State Department and the administration. The Secretary of State is the most powerful cabinet member. There's a reason for that. That edict comes rolling downhill, per se. Remember, the CIA is the agency that implements administration policy as dictated to the State Department. And that's really what was going on here. Now, the CIA learned of hijackers coming to America, but you can be damn sure the president's staff, that inner circle, and the State Department, Vicky said, okay, can't tell the Bureau, let the Saudis do what they got to do because if we piss them off and we arrest them, if the FBI informs John O'Neill locks them up, they'll be embarrassed and blah, 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 blah. International incident. Maybe they're just innocent boys on a trip to America. We don't know. And remember, when the girl who told me to shut up, when I said to her, I said, what the fuck are they coming to America for? She said, it's just a diversion to throw us off their trail in Southeast Asia. It's just a diversionary trip. That was a lie. But not that it was a lie that she knew something was going to happen. It was a lie because she knew that the Saudis are going to be allowed to follow them and try to recruit them. That's what it was all about. And it's all a cover-up of the incompetence of letting that Saudi unilateral op run awry, run away, and fail. That's what it's all about. And no one's ever going to admit that until 50 years from now, all those communications and cables are declassified when all the people are dead. Because that's how they do it 30, 40, 50 years out. When they figure all the players are gone. And then history will be revealed and people say, oh, that's what happened. The trick is to get Tenet or somebody to flip and say, this is what happened, or somebody in the Saudi government to flip. This is why JASTA is so evil, per se, in the eyes of the Saudis and why they fought tooth and nail about it. Because a very good, smart attorney for the families, if I were him or her, I would subpoena any and all, every single document the U.S. government has, communication scheme, I would, any and all, blah, 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 blah. Column, email, instant messages, notes, scribbles, whatever, that between the Saudi government and the U.S. government, period. And that should cover the subpoena and see what happens, see what the rebuke is, see how they try to quash that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and specific people to be deposed, like Tenet, like Crawford Black, yes, like John Brennan, yes, like the woman who told me to shut up, yes, Richard Blee, yes, the head of chief of Alex Station, deputy chief, yes, the redhead, Everybody should be put in a court of law. And maybe then the tree will shake loose. But till that time, we're not going to get anywhere. You depose, you put a subpoena out for Prince Bandar. What do you got to hide? Come testify. What are you afraid of?
Bandar's got a lot to hide.
Well, but of course he does.
For 28 pages, they say that Abu Zubaydah has his unlisted phone number. Bandar's unlisted phone number for Colorado. The 28 pages imply that Bandar kept information from the United States, because it says in May 2001, the United States government was aware that an individual in Saudi Arabia was in contact with Abu Zubaydah and was most likely aware of an upcoming Al-Qaeda operation. But the Saudis would not, they say the Saudis, when they say the Saudis, they're talking about Bandar, because the Saudis would not give the United States government information on this person in Saudi Arabia unless the U.S. government told Bandar how they got this information. I say with the courses and methods. Bandar seems to know a lot. He's in the middle of all of it.
Well, it goes back to what I was, saying just in the beginning, is that the 9/11 Commission report was not done from the perspective of an FBI agent trying to make a case. It was done by analysts and Senate investigators, if you will, trying to put together a story to explain what happened, but not look at it from the point of view of the questions you were both asking and I have been asking. That's the difference.
I thought that's why they were created. I thought the 9/11 Commission was created to answer two basic things, really. The one, what you're talking about, why the CIA did what it did, and the other thing it's supposed to answer is the 28 pages, it seems to imply the Saudis did 9/11. It's supposed to answer that. They didn't answer either one of those. Zelikow himself said he doesn't know. He doesn't know what the FBI wasn't told. He doesn't know. I thought they were supposed to find that out.
Watch the documentary, The Spy Factory, and the view of Eleanor Hill. She's an honorary commission member, and she talks about the NSA and getting information from the NSA. And she says on camera, we were told not to go there. We were told that we couldn't go there. A government congressionally convened and authorized by the president investigation, and the NSA can't go there. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again to me? And we accept this? We blindly just accept this like, oh yeah, well. What do you mean, oh yeah, well? People fucking died. And the whole world has gone chaotic because of that one event. From the not releasing Doug's memo, a cavalcade disaster has stemmed. The 9/11 attacks, the invasion of Iraq, the invasion of Afghanistan, and ISIS has all stemmed from the prevention of the FBI to do its job in the United States of America and stop that Saudi cell. That's that. If you want to know, that's from that one fucking memo. All the shit has been released, or the blocking of that one memo. They have an obligation under every applicable law, rule, and just operating modus operandi to tell the FBI about bad guys coming to the United States of America, and they didn't. It would have to know why. That's the bottom line.
What's your theory on the Saudi role here? Were they trying to stop this attack, or trying to get information and didn't give it to us in time, or?
Yeah, of course. No. No. What happened was the Saudis were allowed by the agency in the form of Omar al-Bayoumi to try to recruit a member of the cell. And it went awry. It didn't work. It failed. And they didn't want any attack to happen in any way, shape, or form. Al-Bayoumi was a Saudi agent. I don't know if he was a CIA asset, but he clearly was a Saudi agent. And, of course, the CIA had contact with him as being a Saudi agent in the U.S. And those are the documents and emails, communications, et cetera, you have to get at the bottom, but you have to get your hands on those and establish and prove that.
Here's the head scratcher for me is Bosman was Bayouni's partner. He helped the hijackers too. He was also getting money directly from Prince Bandar. Bosman hosted a party for the Blank Sheep back in '92. The FBI documents state that Bosman is an bin Laden supporter.
Yes.
He believes bin Laden was like a god. Why would that person stop an attack and help them thwart bin Laden?
Well, because perhaps maybe We didn't know that, or maybe knew that the CIA knew, excuse me, but they figured that the Saudis could control them and have them inform them what these boys were doing. Yes, he maybe think Bin Laden is a god, but maybe the greater thing, the fact that maybe something harm coming to America would be stronger in his mind to have him. Okay. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know.
Yeah, because it seems to me like Bin Laden was an asset of the Saudi intelligence, and that's a fact. Now, what we're supposed to believe is, yeah, he turned rogue later on, and he wanted to overthrow the Saudi government. Now, here's my problem with that. What happened was they gave Bin Laden carte blanche. It's called plausible deniability. Because if they really thought Bin Laden and his 10,000-man jihad army was going to overthrow the Saudi government, they'd cut his fucking head off. They wouldn't give him millions of dollars, and they gave his own country.
I agree.
That's what they did. That's what they did. They gave him his own country, Afghanistan, because the Taliban was running Afghanistan.
Yes, it was.
Well, no country on earth recognized them as a government except for Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. Why is Saudi Arabia supporting a government that's protecting a guy that wants to overthrow the government? He was an asset. He was an asset.
Yes, he might have been an asset, but he also was somebody that needed to placate, maybe, perhaps, so he wouldn't do evil against them. So give him his own little playground, and maybe he won't bother us. And it's all also about spreading their word.
Yeah, exactly. They like what he's doing.
Because he's spreading their word, all about, because long after we're all dead, Islam and God will survive. That's what it's all fucking about to them, and they can get that happily.
That's why I don't believe that the Saudis were against Bin Laden. And Pakistan wasn't either. G. Shelby, his handler, it's public knowledge.
Well, I'm not so sure I agree with that one. I know the Saudis feared him, causing dissent, but as long as he was away from the kingdom, and then he was given his own little playground, they'd say, okay, he'll be happy, he won't bother us. And they could have killed him, like they killed his brother-in-law, but if they killed him, they probably feared a backlash of the jihadists and the radicals within their own kingdom. So it's better to not make him a martyr. That's maybe that. I think that's probably more like it, but again, I could be wrong.
It didn't look to me like that. They disowned him. It looked to me like he had plausible deniability. It looked to me like Al-Qaeda is Saudi Arabia's terrorist group, just like Hezbollah is Iran's terrorist group. And Pakistan's got a whole bunch of terrorist groups. The thing that concerns me the most about the 9/11 Commission is Dieter Snell. If you read Philip Sheenan's book, The Commission, I don't know if you have or not, it's pretty good. And according to the 9/11 Commission, Sheenan's book, Dieter Snell was the one more than anybody else that was excising Saudi Arabia involvement out of the Commission report. And he's also the one who wrote the main chapters, and what I'm about to tell you now about how they don't mention Bosman's name at all. Bosman is mentioned 42 times in the 28 pages. He's not mentioned at all in the 9/11 Commission report. Now, that will take a limited effort to cover him up, because there's a footnote that says a woman in California was in contact with bin al-Shidi about marriage fraud. Okay, that's Bosman's wife. Obviously, they're protecting him on purpose. Now, here's the one thing right now to me that should put Peter Snell in prison if it's true. That subpoena. I don't know if you saw those documents.
No, not like this.
They say in another Commission report, when the hijackers, al-Hazmi and al-Mihdhar, arrived in Los Angeles on January 15th, they stayed in LA for 2 weeks. They don't know where. But those interviews, they interviewed the FBI agent who said that Khalid bin Araim, he's the reason they opened an investigation on Mary, because he said they were talking to bin Araim, and from what he said, they opened an investigation on Mary because he was Mary's driver, and he shot by a couple of Saudis that was hauling around, and he showed them the apartment complex they stayed at, 36 Subpoenas Boulevard. And he said that the FBI ran an investigation on that place and found out that the King Fahd Mosque and Mary had several apartments rented there in his name. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. And he also said that when they first arrived in America, they stayed at the Hilton Hotel. And that's when Dieter Snell ordered a subpoena for the records of Said Abdallah, January 15th. Now, that looks to me like those were two hijackers. Somebody rented that room and started on January 15th using MasterCard. When the hijackers first came here, the Mary's driver, been arraigned. Not only did he show them the apartment complex they stayed at, which also happened to have several apartments leased in Mary's name, he also told them they stayed at the Hilton Hotel the first night here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a subpoena is about. They subpoenaed two names, Abdullah and Abdallah. Now, they got the records. They stayed in room 1777, Hilton Hotel. Somebody held that room for them as on that credit card, and that person is a sorry government agent. Then Dieter Snell is giving aid and comfort to the enemy, and he's also hiding evidence. The name of the credit card is a Saudi government official. Dieter Snell is guilty of treason, and he's hiding evidence. This is really, really simple to clear up. Who's the name? And if the name is Bob Smith, and these are two of his golfing buddies, okay, fine, let's move on. But it really does look very obvious. How did you know to subpoena those two names? And the 9/11 Commission footnotes, they leave out, as a source, in the footnotes, they leave out that interview with the FBI guy. He talked about they stayed at 3636 Florida Boulevard. They said they leave that out. Instead, they say the source is Vicky G. They're hiding her. It's a Gizzy. Vicky G. interviewed September 30th. The next day, they interviewed Vicky G. because she's the one that ran the names. And that's how they knew to ask for Abdullah and Abdullah on a subpoena. They're hiding a lot of stuff.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense now. Okay. You talking about Dieter Snell, the lawyer, is a Pascal Rose. You're talking about him. Yes.
Dieter Snell on the commission. Yeah, the lawyer. He's the one that...
Yeah. I worked with him. When he was a young AUSA. I had one or two cases with him, criminal cases. But okay. I'm looking at it now. Okay, I see. Okay.
Now, Pope Sheena had said that the reason he particularly studies so much and the 9/11 Commission report is because he's overcautious, saying he doesn't want to prosecute innocent people. But look at the Iran lost. They got found guilty of being involved in that. They did 9/11. They were ordered $10 million. Yeah, and he was a star witness.
What a fucking farce. That's like...
Dieter Snell was a star witness, saying Iran did 9/11.
It just defies fucking logic. It defies logic. And for people to believe that now it's truth that the Iranians were responsible. Who's fucking kidding who here?
Dieter Snell testified under oath, and read his affidavit. Look at that case. It's the most embarrassing case I've ever seen. And Judge Daniels is the one that decided that Iran did 9/11, and that's when the case about the Saudis came to him later. So I knew he was going to find, he's going to pull it out because he already decided Iran did 9/11. Now imagine being one of the victims' families, and you go to the judge. Oh, your case is going to go to Judge Daniels. He already decided Iran did 9/11. So let's see how you guys do. Yeah, you're going to lose, which they did. He threw it out. Dieter Snell's a star witness. He wasn't being overly cautious like Philip Sheehan said, and because he didn't want to, prosecute innocent people. Right. I mean, if he's not on the Saudi payroll, he's looking for free. He's looking for free.
This is disgusting. I mean, really,
I know there's people that volunteered to go into the service after 9/11 to fight the evildoers who the Adrian and the attackers, and they got killed. They got blown to pieces in Iraq. Right. So they can't say nothing. They're dead.
Yeah, they got used. Right. They're dead for nothing. They're dead for nothing. Right. That's correct.
Every Saudi they talked to, that they tried to clear things up, every one of them, they admit, lied to them throughout the interview. All of them. Kanari, Boston, Al-Rashid, who's supposed to be one of the hijackers, Rashid Al-Rashid.
Because I get a visa. That's right. He's the one that met Muhammad in Spain to pass the messages back to Khalid Sheikh Mohammed that the plane was ready. Which happened to be the same day Neil and I were in Spain.
Bin al-Shibi. Now, is this coincidence? Bin al-Shibi is down in Gitmo being tortured. Well, he's connected to Bosman. Bin al-Shibi's down in Gitmo being tortured. He's connected to Tamari. Tamari was escorting him to the LA airport. He was in Los Angeles in June of 2000, according to the CIA reports.
Yeah, Khalid bin
He was with Mihdhar. Right before Mihdhar left to go back. In June 9th, 2000, he was in a Dino's motel meeting with Benatosh. CIA documents confirmed that Benatosh was in LA area, meeting with Tamari in June of 2000.
But how could he? But there's no record of him. But how could you come in with no record of him? Well, if someone's from the LA,
how could he arrive? How could Benatosh come in with no record? Yeah, that's weird.
Because FBI reports say that he has diplomatic status. He can escort people through because he has a diplomatic status.
So al-Mihdhar could bring him on through with no problem because he's a Saudi diplomat.
Yeah. You're saying that Khalid bin Atash came to the U.S.
Yes.
Escorted through the airport by Fahad al-Mihdhar.
That's what Thimari does. That's what Thimari tried to come back in 2003. He was not allowed to come back because we told the Saudis this guy is an extremist. We don't want him here, and the Saudis didn't care. They sent him here anyway, so we stopped him. He's not allowed to come to America. They sent him back because of his ties to terrorism. That's what the big answer.
Unbelievable.
It's news reports. Just Google Thimari terrorist connections, LA, something like that. It was in the LA Times. He tried to come back in 2003. They stopped him.
This is disgusting.
It thinks it's totally spin out into a worldwide religious war. We're just we're
exactly correct.
We're
exactly correct, Jim. This has turned into a worldwide religious war. You are exactly correct. This homicide was against a madman, and he was contained, and religion had nothing to do with it, and the Middle East was just a bunch of fucking sand with black stuff coming out of the ground. And it's just now changed, right?
Yeah, this is going to be the most complicated one because all the former ones were ideologies of economics and political.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a real tough one because this is religious.
Now you're talking about going to heaven, right? Exactly. Eternity, right? Eternal life. Fear.
Well, I don't know, Mark. Like I said, thank you so much for the time.
Oh, my pleasure, gentlemen. Thank you. No, you guys, I mean, I wish I could chat all day because I just got to get ready to go out to Staten Island for a meeting.
Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. You
Thank
take
you
care.
both, gentlemen. Thank you for your dedication. We'll get to the truth. It's out there. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.